I will start in a minute. I am trying to find the glass of water that I know that I just literally poured. Where is my water? Where is my water? Back in a sec. I found it. Once the ice is melt, I don't put ice in my water. Do you mean the polar ice caps? They're actually going to get bigger. Okay. Yeah, I know. If you put the ice caps in your drink, you could get bacteria from like the Paleolithic era that you have no immunity for. Very bad. Very bad. Okay, I failed to check in something from my laptop. I will be back in a second as I check that in. It is not that surprising that I didn't check it in because I had to leave the cafe where I was abruptly due to the terrorist attack. But it's all good. Well, it's not all good. This is okay. Plenty of things that are bad. Did somebody try to set me on fire? No, but I was about 5 blocks away from that. I also live 5 blocks away, but I was 5 blocks in the other direction. Did I have to take a detour back? I didn't try to go that way. That's actually the place where that happened is like a walking only street. And I had drove my car to where I was, so I drove to somewhere else. Was I carrying? No. Like Boulder is so libtarded. Like I don't even know what it takes to carry here, but it's probably pretty bad. So, but I did because I was about to do a road trip. I did have a pistol and a belt set up in the frunk of my electric car. So if only I had known there was going to be a problem, I could have been in the right place at the right time, but I did not know. You're glad I'm all right. Well, thank you. That's the thing is like, that did happen in a place that I walk through just about every day, or let's say half of days. So, yeah. Suspect used a flamethrower. I don't. Here's the thing. I read through some of the tweets about what happened, and they're all contradictory. Like, I doubt he actually used a flamethrower because why the fuck was he holding Molotov cocktails if he had a flame? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That sounds like a miscommunication. CNN is saying that on the front page. Well, CNN says all sorts of shit. I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. I wasn't there, but imagine I might have had some first-hand or second-hand info. No. No, I mean, like I said, I was 5 blocks away, but that's pretty far. Like, you know, I didn't see or hear anything about it. I've heard all sorts of contradictory things. So early reports were saying that several people were killed. That appears not to be true. I don't like. So you have to wait till the actual facts come out, right? MSNBC was reporting it was a white guy doing it, right? Before they got corrected on that. So, like, I don't know, man. Don't you just love Middle Eastern conflicts exported everywhere? Yeah, I would not mind not having Middle Eastern conflicts here in the U.S. I think that would be great. Now it's Colorado Man. Are you serious? Are there headlines saying Colorado Man? Like Maryland Man? Maryland Man, doing the things that Maryland can. All right. So we're just going to draw some stuff on the menu again tonight, like last night. Remember when we did that? Okay, I think the description here. Okay, that's got the solved and the time, and we're gonna break that out into 2 lines, 3 lines. We're gonna go solved info. We're gonna go playtime string, because I did a thing today before the terrorist attack where I recorded how long you were playing, and solved info, playtime string, and then last saved time. All right. So now if I compile, it'll just tell me what line, so I don't have to remember. Okay, 1302. I mean, honestly, you know, these should all be in one string. So if anyone here is on the beta, I'm thinking about the thought that I just had as I was looking at this is a thing that happens sometimes. And it would be nice to have a way to just generate n strings in the same memory. And then I think, okay, wait, that is what String Builder does, right? So maybe we could add a mode to String Builder where you generate n strings and it just returns them, right? The only thing is that will complicate String Builder more, and it's used all over the place. But maybe it could be an ancillary data structure in a separate module, right? Because you would just say, okay, I'm done with the current string, I'm starting the next string, and it would call the length function on the String Builder to know how many bytes in the next string starts. Yeah, that would work fine. And then when you get the linear result, you just like parcel out the strings according to those. Yeah. I think that would be good. I'm not going to do it right now because we're not going to rat hole. I'm just going to remind myself of this idea. Okay. I think that would be great. Okay, so what else? 1337. That's leet. Okay, so this is going to be solved info. Let's just do this. If you haven't solved anything, okay, so we're going to say however many gold, however many solved, and then okay, so Non-major is not, I don't, this, we're just going to get the info on the screen. Oh, I got to look in campaign. Major level solved. Okay. Oops. Okay. Did I get the peppermint bark? Of course not. Of course not. Let's see what CNN says about this. Suspect used flamethrower. Okay, well they're claiming that. But like in this photo, he's just carrying some Molotovs. Ugh, I didn't need to read that. If only this place were not so libtarded that you could carry. Like, dude. Actually, what is the law here? Concealed carry is valid with a permit. How hard is that to get? 8-hour class. And you got to renew it how often? I don't know. Maybe I should get that if I'm going to be walking down Pearl Street. Don't come here and be disrespectful, dude. Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't think anything's going to change here. Like, Boulder is so far on the left that the only reason it's not as bad or worse than San Francisco is because it's a lot smaller and it's pretty far from Aurora, which is where all the, San Francisco has like Hunters Point right there. Aurora, which is the place which you may have heard of, where gangs now own apartment buildings, is far enough away that, like, if you left Aurora to do crimes, you would go somewhere else than here. But if it weren't for those things, Boulder would be as bad or worse than San Francisco. But it's actually a really nice place right now. So yeah, only some apartments. I mean, come on, it's not like the gangs own all the apartments. So clearly it's not a problem. All right. So I'm going to do saved string. So we want, what were the other strings? Solved info, right? Playtime string. So we're going to do name, solved info, playtime string, last save time. And you know what? I literally just deleted the code for last save time, so we're going to diff it and get it back. Whoops, I just passed it. Where was it? Where was it? Time string. Oh, you know what? That part is still there. Duh. All right. Playtime string. So here's another thing we don't have. We don't have in our standard library a way to convert, like when you get the time string, I think it's always in GMT, right? Or whatever. And if you wanted to convert that, it is possible right now, but you have to convert away from our native time struct into operating system and use that. And that kind of sucks, right? So we should provide that in some way. The only problem is I'm afraid that that's actually going to be completely hideous, right? I mean, maybe it won't be, but I feel like it's going to be. I mean, if we just make an OS specific function that's like, how many hours off of GMT are we right now? I guess that's fine. And that could be OS specific. And then, I mean, printing the frickin', like, how many lines of code is it to print the day, month, and year for a corresponding time value, right? It's got to be insane. And like heavily locale dependent and shit, right? Like how many lines of code is that in Linux? Why would it be GMT if the calendar variable is local? Oh, maybe. Oh, you're right. I forgot that I did this. Okay, so that's not the problem. It's just this. This is like very OS dependent. Again, maybe that's fine. Dude, I forget all sorts of things. I program so many things that are totally different from each other. It's just very easy to forget what I did. Not even kidding. Do an input format for how you get the time back. You mean like for how the string is formatted? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like, I think that's something that would be useful to a lot of people is to, I mean, even if we just provided like 5 different formats or something and just let you pick one. Like, that's the simplest thing, right? Is just like, look, which of these do you want? Um, UTC. No, I mean Greenwich time because we're talking about England where civilization was born. All right. Did I listen to the latest All In Pod? I did because I was driving a bunch today, and I thought I thought Chamath was pattern matching in a way that's wrong, right? So he was basically saying some version of this old trope that you've heard, which is like, look, the older dudes aren't learning new things. They're not learning the hot new AI thing, and newer dudes are learning it and they're becoming more productive, right? But here's the thing, it's not like there's anything to learn. It's like you get the tool to output some code and you prompt it, right? It's not hard. So I think he's got a backwards reading on it. I think it's incorrect. I think he is observing a correlation, which is that younger programmers are using these tools more than older programmers, but I think it's the same as what the Warp CEO guy was seeing, which is like, look, older programmers who have been in the industry for a long time are more likely to actually know how to program and more likely to actually know how fucking trash all this LLM code is, and they don't want to use it, right? And they're less likely to be grappling with like stupid boilerplate, which is mostly all it can output anyway, right? Whereas newer programmers are going to have the grunt work tasks. They're not, a lot of them don't even know how to program like hardly at all now, right? And they don't have the experience to judge whether this is good. So I think that's what he's actually seeing, but he's misinterpreting it. Yeah, I mean, we could do a few. We could do the current string format. We could do hour, minute, second, millisecond, like you're saying, just numbers with colons. We could do something that matches the Linux string in case you like that, right? Like, I think that one just uses, you know, 3 letter abbreviations for months and stuff. You know, we can do a few common ones like that. I think that would be, I think people would appreciate it. You were surprised to see ESR strongly disagree with that. I vaguely remember seeing ESR say something about AI programming tools being good, but like, does he even program now? Was he ever a good programmer, is my question. So here's the thing you have to remember when Chamath is saying that. He's also talking his book because he started a startup, the thesis of which is that you can use AI vibe coding, sort of, not exactly vibe coding, but AI code generation to replace common high margin software, right? So, like, he has to believe what he said there because if he didn't believe it, he would have to quit his company and shut it down, right? Same with Austin Allred. Yeah, I got into an argument with him on Twitter the other day, actually, and I don't think he replied to my reply. He like linked me. You could go find it. He like linked me some video of their, vibe code of video meeting app in an hour, and like I watched the first two presentations and they were complete disasters. But he was like, "Dude, this proves AI works great." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing is I think Austin Allred is the same guy who did that Lambda school thing or one of those programming schools. And I used to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like he got into a big controversy about being a scammer or something. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt back then because, like, look, I think we need alternative educational institutions, and I can think of lots of reasons why people would want to attack those. But, like, if he's serious, he just doesn't have a clue about software at all. And then I'm not surprised that he failed to teach people well and kind of ended up being a scammer if that's what happened. Right? How about what Friedberg was talking about with cost of living going down due to boost of productivity from AI and robotics? Is that really imminent? I don't think it's super imminent, but I do think we will get a boost in the near term. But here's what, like all the stuff that everybody else was saying, like Friedberg understands this, but everybody else was like, look, dude, if we just grow GDP, we don't have to cut spending as much. But no, they'll just fucking spend more money if you grow GDP. That's not going to solve anything, right? Like it's amazing listening to people be so stupid, right? Like you have to stop the culture of spending or they'll just spend everything that you have. That's like the reason spending isn't even higher than it is now is that we don't have more money than we do. If we did, spending would be higher. Like it was just really frustrating listening to that part of the conversation. You have to just primary everybody in Congress who refuses to cut spending, right? Like that has to become the expectation. Right now, they're still in this pattern of like, oh, the people like that I keep increasing spending because I'm getting things for them, right? But if the American people actually understand that this is on net bad now because it's going to destroy the country, I think we could turn that around culturally, but I don't know. Like that, you really need like an ad campaign about this. Yeah, the spending boom since COVID has been insane. And we clearly don't have more in the way of useful goods from it, like at all, right? So where is it all going? Where is it all going? Okay, last saved time. Okay, wait. This is wrong. This is this. Okay. No. What? Loadable dot last saved time is last saved time string. Okay. Now this is an elapsed time. The playtime string. So this elapsed time is, oh, you know what? I actually already did a little bit of a breakdown because we just want to say hours and minutes for this. What is this variable? Gameplay duration. So we want to do something with this. And here's what we do. Boom. So we're going to go cs dot playtime game. No. Loadable. Yeah, this I was loadable dot playtime string equals sprint okay, let's do this. If hours, else if minutes, else. All right. So if you haven't even played 1 minute, we're just going to make it the empty string. All right. If you've played 1 minute, we're going to go the word minutes is really weird when you look at it. What? No, we still have those to deal with. All right. Loadable.playtime string is I need to put spaces in these, by the way. Okay. Let's fix these other issues. So this is going to be playtime string, I guess, for now. No, solved info. And then we're going to have three things. We're going to do playtime string and name. And then, like, name is the least important. We might draw multiple sizes and stuff. All right. It might not be as bad as people imagine, but that's what everybody has been saying for years and years, and that's what allows it to get worse. Okay? And it's unprecedentedly bad because rates have gone up so much. Like, it's become tremendously more expensive to service the debt over the past couple of years. It's just, and like, the debt will go up and the rate will go up, right? So, like, it's a really bad situation. I don't think you need to be an expert to know that. Why did you decided not to implement F strings? What the hell is an F string? Am I supposed to know what an F string is? Okay, wow. We're drawing stuff on top of other stuff. Somehow. Oh, so first of all, okay, this is very weird. So the time string, I'm not surprised if it's empty, because a lot of these... Oh, I left my log message in about saving, right? Yeah, I'm screwing something up. Freed with the wrong allocator. Let's look at this. It's pretty clear that I'm t-printing or something when I shouldn't be. But I've been vibe coding. That's my excuse, right? Loadable. Sprint, whatever. Okay. Sprint. This is wrong. Does calendar to string still, let's see. It returns temporary storage. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Do I love that? I don't know. I think most of the time you probably do want it to be temporary, but when it comes to parameters for allocators, we took out the thing about those defaulting to temporary. So maybe we should just also not. Shouldn't minute string be minutes if minutes is 0? No, because if minutes is 0, we don't put a string. We just leave it the empty string. 1 minute. See, this is 0 minutes. I do if hours is non-zero. That's a good point. You are correct. Two minutes. It's 11:30 p.m. already. So we're going to do some more things. All right, so solved. Okay. Now okay. So we're going to do a thing where we draw less or more. So if gold, this. If major, this. Otherwise, this. And we'll probably display that in a more entertaining way later. Okay, it looks kind of goofy. Let's just put 0 minutes. Because the blank line looks goofy. You'll probably almost never see it, but... Alright. Okay. You watched a talk yesterday about learning how to make games professionally. They basically said all subjects related to making games can be self-taught except certain very difficult topics, including operating systems, graphics, programming, and really hard math like advanced calculus. Who said that? Okay, first of all, there is almost no calculus in video game programming. Like literally, the only time you're ever going to do calculus is if you're writing a physics engine, which almost nobody does. Okay, so first of all, it doesn't sound to me like whoever this is knows what the fuck they're talking about. Secondly, graphics programming is easily learnable off the internet. What are they talking about? Thirdly, operating system. What? Okay, when you talk about what is hard in operating systems, those are things involved in making an operating system. Like making a good file system is pretty difficult, right? Most programmers wouldn't be able to do it if you just told them to do it. But like that has nothing to do with making a video game. What video was this? Who made this video? There's basically no calculus in graphics programming either. Like maybe if you're like deriving something about spherical harmonics, you do some integration or whatever, but like there's no, the percentage of programmers that do that is basically 0. It was a talk from a graphics programmer. I don't know if I believe this graphics programmer. What graphics programmer? What have they done? I mean, honestly, it sounds like you're making it up. Link or it didn't happen. I had to get a honey spoon so I could eat some honey. You think they're going to freaking kill you at school tomorrow? Why? Are you a pro-Palestine terrorist? What's the deal? Why do you think they're going to kill you at school tomorrow? How to start a career in computer graphics programming.
How I got a job in the game industry. And the talk was labeled being a graphics programmer. But when I started doing it, I realized there's probably a lot of people who are just trying to get in the game industry at all. So I'm going to break this talk into two parts. First part, I'm going to talk about specifically how.
Oh, this. Okay, so first of all, this guy has crabs. All right. So be careful about that. All right. I'm not a big fan of. All right, so he's actually been in the game industry for a long time, I guess. Yeah, none of this is relevant. None of this is going to help anyone, though. Graphic systems, graphics compilers. Okay, almost nobody does that. Animation, sure, but that's not that hard. BRDF lighting, okay. Tool pipelines, yeah. I mean, sure. Okay, accurate. Vector calculus is what? No, linear algebra is essential. Vector calculus is not essential at all. Does this guy not know the difference between vector calculus and linear algebra? How do you say vector calculus, but is he confused? Just because you have to do stuff with vectors, he thinks you need vector calculus? Okay, this is the first slide where I'm like, WTF, dude. Now I'm like, what the hell? I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. He recommends statics. I think that's a typo. I think if we listen to the audio, he probably says statistics. I don't think statistics is super helpful, honestly. What's advanced calculus if not vector calculus multi? Well, there's one branch of calculus that's just like, how do you figure out how to differentiate or integrate all these crazy things? Well, integration mainly, right? Also, I mean, he probably means differential equations for advanced calculus. He might say that. So certainly you can have very complicated, very hard differential equations relating scalars, right? But no, it should say linear algebra and complex numbers, maybe, right? And like matrix analysis, like forget vector calculus, like do you know what an eigenvector is, right? Can you do a singular value decomposition on a matrix? Like that's way more useful than like even statistics. So I don't know what this guy's smoking. Maybe if we listen to the video, he would be saying that he works in some very specific area where that makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to me right now. He's definitely doing the thing where the purpose of the words on the slide is to remind him what to say and not not for people to read. I mean, to some extent, all speakers do that, but I mean, I certainly do that to some degree, but I try to pare down the number of words tremendously. Okay. I still can't get over vector calculus. This probably says game designer, right? Everyone thinks they could be a game designer. I mean, all this makes sense. I just don't know why he said vector calculus. That's my only problem with this whole presentation. I kind of disagree with this. I mean, it is true that, yeah, you could have cobbled together some code on the internet, but still, like, if you have the gumption to put together a playable game, even if you cobbled it from code on the internet, that puts you above a lot of people. So I disagree with it. But this is like a legit disagreement, right? That's not like an objectively decidable thing. Okay. But that also, he didn't say operating systems on the slide. Maybe he said that verbally. Is vibe coding stream title clickbait? All right. Well, it might be bedtime. We didn't do a ton, but we did a little. We were going to take the W. We spent a lot of time talking. It's okay. On days when you survive a terrorist attack, that's fine. And some details to the campaign item on the loading screen. So instead of saying stuff like gold and whatever, I feel like we could use symbols for these. That's what I'm feeling in the long term. And then like the hours and minutes could be just numbers with a colon, right? Maybe. We'll see. So I'm envisioning eventually a more compact display of this information. But before that, I wanted to get the information on the screen. So wait, did he use the flamethrower and then turn around and get the Molotov cocktails? Like, what happened? What actually happened? I wish I could rely on mainstream news. All right. I'm going to sign off. We won't even raid anyone tonight because we did that yesterday. Short stream, just an hour, but we did a thing. And we had an idea, right? Our idea was, we had multiple ideas, right? One of the ideas was, let's provide more date string formats. That seems like a no-brainer. And the other one was about multi-allocating contiguous things in a string builder. And I think that's a good idea. And sometimes having good ideas is the bottleneck, right? All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. And be safe. And stay away from certain kinds of people because you don't want to get barbecued. And I hope the victims of today's attack are doing okay and recovering. The news is that some of them were injured quite severely, and I hope they pull through. And I'll be sending them positive energy. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.